Hey, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to week 2. And in this week, we'll be working with storytelling and how to create stories using AI tools. And yes, we are in language learning and language teaching, we always use storytelling. So we get the classical storytelling, and now we get a more modern approach where you create content with AI. I think it's a great way to equalize, okay? Because not everybody can write a story. Not everybody knows how to. And we teachers don't have all the time that we wished to teach uh, all the students, how to do this. So from the very beginning, they can start exploring on themselves and feeling good that they are able to create. Maybe they didn't write the story, but they contributed to the story and they get their voice there because they choose the characters and they choose what happens in the story. And so they are using their imagination. They don't know yet how to express those ideas in English. So AI becomes like, oh, this is the way you do it, okay? And they go like, oh, this is the way you do it. I discovered that. Now I know how to say that, okay? Or maybe not. That's not what I wanted to say. Let's put it the other way, okay? So this is the advantage of working with uh, AI generated content to create stories. So for let's get started, and here we have a little break so we can know each other a little bit. So right now is your time to chat in the use the chat area and tell us a little about you. Also tell us what stories make you smile and what's your favorite character. Okay, those are the questions, and that's the task for you right now. So go ahead, get the chat and write answers to these questions. So, what stories make you smile? So, Yulila is saying that she likes Alice in Wonderland. That's a story that makes her smile, probably, and one of her favorite stories. And Andrea says, okay, stories about pets makes her smile. Uh, yes, Nelly says the same. Yeah, stories about pets make her smile. Hassan from Morocco. Hi, Hassan. He says, I like stories. Robin Hood is his favorite character. Okay, Robin Hood. That's uh, a favorite of many. The stories with happy or unexpected endings makes me smile. Noor says, oh, she's a medical educationist, and her storytelling revolves around patient stories to be used in teaching and learning. This is really cool. I'm teaching a doctor right now, and she wanted to write a story about dengue. Dengue is something that is very bad here in Argentina when rains start. So she wanted to write a story to teach because she works with kids. She's a pediatrician. So um, you know, everything is you just have to adapt to what your students are motivated with. And Lydia says, the Avatar movie and aliens. Okay. A story for adults. Yes, I like adventure. I like to read a lot of fantasy. I like all kind of things. And okay. Well, thank you for sharing. So let's continue. And this is the next thing I want you to do. I need you to fill up a little survey to know a little bit about where you stand on creating, illustrating, and publishing stories created with AI. Elizabeth says Cinderella. Oh, okay. You can do that also in the course. In when you get to the description of the week, you have the link there. Anyway, we can share the link here also if you need the link for later, so you can open it and keep it there. There you have the link to the survey, okay? So, okay, so please, if you have the time, find the time. That would be nice if you can do this. Okay, so let's get into week 2. As you can see, this is the classic right by now. Each week you're going to have a description or the things that you're supposed to complete during the week, okay? Or interesting things to check. So the idea is that we are going to co-create short stories with the help of AI, okay? It's not about you creating the story from your head, out of your head, or your students doing that. You can do that in a traditional way, of course, but the idea here is to co-create and look at the best practices you can learn from trying out and discovering together with AI. So we're going to be reading about the power of storytelling and reflecting. We're going to create prompts. We're going to work together to create prompts to start stories, and we're going to look at different suggestions and ideas on how to integrate AI. We're going to design a lesson plan, always a lesson plan. And you're going to learn how to create images and illustrate those stories. And at the end, the idea is that you create a book integrating different tools that we're going to suggest, okay? And those things are going to be socialized. Your books are going to be socialized in a collaborative Padlet, okay? That everybody know what a Padlet is by now, I think. Okay, so these are some of the tools that you will be exploring in this week, like AR generators to illustrate your stories and some story generators to create those stories. So you can use any tool that you want, okay? I would recommend Redsi prompts I use Redsi prompts with my advanced students because that's a really interesting way to start more interesting stories, or things that are adapted to their level. You got AI story generators and AI story writer. Those are free. These are good tools because they come with also we get Canva a story generator. That's the AI story generator. That's the one from Canva. And I don't have it here. I have it in the other. Well, we'll get there. Don't worry. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Claude, okay, pick and choose. There are many possibilities. So not everybody have the access, as Nelly was saying before, to all of the tools. So you have alternative tools that work for you. And then if you find something that works for you, share it with the group. So maybe there are other people that are in the same situation. Okay. And collaborative tools, well, we're going to work with Paddle, and also Word Creator is a collaborative tool. More resources, you will find more resources in this. These are 2 collections that I have put together through the first moment, all this AI craze came about. So you will find lots of materials there. So I recommend you to go check it out. Just click. This is for AI for language learning in general, and where you can see some of the work I had been doing with my students, some examples. For example, this is a worksheet based on a story. This was Romeo and Juliet. Everybody knows Romeo and Juliet. So we asked AI to adapt this story for Gen Z language. I was amazed the other day. I watched a video where a man telling the story of Romeo and Juliet using Gen Z, and I couldn't understand anything. But I showed it to my students, and they were like, okay, yes, they were on with what the man was saying. And I was so like, my gosh, what is this? Okay. So I asked AI to adapt the story to different levels. So as you can see, these are Romeo and Juliet with emojis, faces, and they are using cell phones. So anything is possible just by using AI. So you're up to a lot of new things that you can, new ideas that probably you will be able to apply in your classrooms. So let's get started right now. And this is the first, this is the first activity that you had to do this week. And here we start writing a prompt. And this is like a little game. Okay, you copy this prompt and they say, okay, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or your favorite language model. And you say, let's write a 4-sentence story together. I start with the following sentence. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a brave little dragon named Sparky. Okay, so you're free to use any, you can change character, the setting, okay, you're free to do that. But the idea is that you're going to write a 4-sentence story together. So you can see how easy this is it to create stories with the help of AI, okay? Also, we'll be reading about the power of storytelling and reflecting on some questions that come with this when we look at how we can integrate storytelling in our classes, you know. That's the first forum where you can participate and give your opinions there. Okay. Also, there are some activities and, you know, some examples of activities, like, for example, collaborative story creation, you know. Students and AI co-write a story. They provide a prompt and AI generates a part of the stories. The students then continue it, alternating turns with AI. So this is more or less what we were doing with the 4-sentence story. You were co-creating the story with AI. And the objective is, well, probably improve creative writing, vocabulary, grammar skills. Some tools that you can use, there you have it. When there's character AI here, character AI right now is a bot that you can use to talk to. So stories can be oral stories too. Character AI is something that is very popular and kids all over the world are using without much control. So that's why it's so important for teachers to start checking on this and teaching and giving the students best practices and teach them how to use the tools in the correct way. There are already cases where kids have been using character AI in a very bad way. As a matter of fact, one kid suicide because what the kids do is that they create a character, for example, of their crush, and they talk to the crush every day. And what is amazing is also that with just a piece of a sample of audio of your voice, the character can use your own voice. So that's even a little bit more scarier. Okay, so but anyway, the kids are already there. So what we can do is explore how it works, and then you decide if it's okay or not, and then how you can adapt it. I use it with my adult students, and always when we use AI, I am like the mom that is teaching the kid to cross the street. Okay, so they had to cross the street because they had to go places, right? And so, but they can do that in a safe way and within the best way. So this is something that we all learning together. So there goes my advice on that topics. Okay, how is the chat going? Okay, kids will like it. Oh, okay, let's continue. What else are we having in this week is, this is very important, is that this is how to prompt effectively using AI generated short stories. So in this week, you can read about it. There are a lot of examples. And what I recommend you is that you try all of them out and see what happened, you know, how they work. So check this out. This is important. And it's not a forum, so you don't have to share anything. This is for you to explore on your own, okay? Because there is a lot of material here. Then we are going to work also with strategies for effective prompting and creating images. There is a nice video that you can watch, would give you ideas, and also in Moodle you will find also tips on how to do it. As you can see, this is an example of one. Create an image of a girl with it is in light orange brown hair, whimsical mixed media. So when we look at this prompt, we see the subject, okay, just the girl. They don't describe her very much, only that. But then they describe their hair. That is what is important here. You have interesting words like iridescent or whimsical or mixed media. So this is the kind of vocabulary that you need to teach students to get better results, right? Anyway, have a happy exploring of the week because you're going to find a lot of treasures there. Uh, okay, now we're not going to watch the video right now. Also, uh, these are becoming classics. I'm sure that most of you already familiar with these tools like Leonardo AI or Ideogram or Big Image Creator. Big Image Creator is still working. What has changed is Copilot. In the past, you could use create 4 images every time you use Copilot, but now Copilot has changed and they only give you one image that you can save immediately and is not saved in an archive like with Bing Image Creator. So Bing Image Creator is still working. So it's just a little bit changed, but it's still there. And the good thing is that those are free. This is my favorite one for fast image creation. And also we get Night Cafe. That's really nice too. And it's not free, but you get credits every day. So you start collecting your credits and then you can create a lot of images. The beauty of this is that you can use all of these tools at the same time with the same prompt and then look at the different results and then pick and choose what is the one that goes closest to the stories. And you teach your children, your students to do that too, your children. And that's also really important because then they start identifying the elements of the story and which image goes better with that, okay? And it has to have all of the elements that are describing the stories. When you get those AI images, most of the time you got just part of what you wanted. So you have to keep on trying and refining. Okay, Playground AI is another one. And this is a little example of how interactive storytelling works. As you can see, participants can collaborate to create interactive AI enhanced stories. They can use AI language models to generate part of the story while integrating AI generated art to illustrate, okay? This exercise encourages creativity and the use of the English language. So let me show you a little example. This is one of the first, my first instance of, as you can see, that was in November 2023. It's like, oh, very, very far away, you know? No, it's, it's not that, but that's it. This was what I got from an image. I gave the image to Copilot and I told Copilot, well, write a story out of this image. And this is the prompt that I use, and these are some of the results of the moments in the story. Okay, as you can see, eh, this is just beautiful, right? I'm sure that students are going to have a lot of fun and they're going to be creative. And when we're writing a prompt, we go like create an image of an extremely detailed, intricate, double exposure portrait, surreal, vibrant, colorful collage. As you can see, you have a lot of adjectives here. There are some image creators that you don't need to be so specific, but I like to be very specific because sometimes when you are more specific with Copilot, for example, you get this the quality of these images. Okay, let's go back here. So here we have some other tools that you can integrate into your storytelling also, like Lava AI help you evaluate images. Okay, ideogram is a favorite. Is the best with tests. Okay, so whatever you write on the test, they're going to is going to show. Pixel cut is really cool to enhance and upscale images. Sometimes they are not very good, but and you can enlarge them, okay, and add elements. Also, Suno AI, that this is not an image creator, but it's a song creator, music creator, and it works from prompt. So this is, I think it's no, this is Runaway. Here, this is a So you can add music to your books. Okay, so it's up to you all the elements that you would like to integrate, depending on what you want to do in this little projects that you're going to work with your students. Runaway is about videos. You know, it's video generation and image manipulation. So you can get an image and then give it to Runaway, and Runaway will make it alive. Okay, so these are some basic tools. If there are any other new ones, feel free to share in the forums and in the Padlet that we're going to use later on. Okay, now let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so this is the paddle where already some of you have been practicing. So this is the result of the 4 sentence story, I think. Okay, so after you create your images and your prompts and your story, here you can share and collaborate, and you can look at and leave some comments on it also. I don't know if we can leave a comment. Is it only to say that you like it? I had to change this too, so people are able to leave a comment too. Okay, so this is the way you're going to do it. I want an image, the prompt, and the little story, and also the tools that you use to create this first attempt to collaborate with AI and create stories. Okay. Yes, and designer, Nelly, you don't have any problem with designer. The problem was Bing. Bing, before Copilot, Microsoft has Bing, and Bing was best. You can get 4 images. So it was free, and you had as many images as you wanted. But now with Copilot in the chat area, you can only get one. Okay. I still like it. I like the results better than the others are like it's always the same style, you know. So with this you can explore. Um, a recommendation. There are many groups. For example, in Facebook, there are many groups dedicated to AI art, and they always share their prompts. So there are really good people that have found really good styles, and they always share their prompts. So that's a great place to get ideas. Um, then comes the hands-on activity, and this is one that you're going to work with also, design a lesson plan. You got all of the tools that you need to design the plan there. You have a sample lesson plan and you got some ideas, but you can use any you want, okay? The ones that you use in class or that you adapt. You don't have to just follow what is in here. Make sure to share it in the Padlet, and also the Padlet is this one. For example, this was an AIR-based vocabulary building lesson plans, but again, you can use any you want. Okay. Um, Finally, we get to create, and now put everything together, the story, the illustration, and we're going to put it in a book and we're going to publish it online. Okay. And we're going to use book creator. I'm going to show you um, one of my first intent to create a book. This was the first one I did. I create the story. First, I got hooked with a prompt and I created the character. I fell in love with the character. So I said, okay, I'm going to write a story with this. And I asked Copilot at that moment, write the story out of the image. And then I adapted the story, of course. So as you can see, written and illustrated with AI. Okay, I always says that. So when you are creating a book, you have to have a cover. So think of the cover where you have the title of the story and a little. You write the name, or maybe you can add information like this is a good story for A1 level or whatever you think is okay. So as you can see, I got the story, and after I got the story, I started reading the story and creating images to the moments in the different moments in the story, the key moments in the story. And I made sure that what was in the test will match what is in the image. So that's what you do. So this is something that you're going to be also always thinking critically, and students will have to find the words to get what they want according to the story. So the good thing about this is that you can use the same piece of information from the test, and those words are going to help the students to create the prompts to get the images. Okay, so also Book Creator allows you to record, you know. He had many problems, but he did not. Okay, so it's like you can add your voice, you can have students working on the projects and recording their voices and the book. And okay, so also I included this. This is you already familiar with the ID. Uh, I got an image talking and telling the story. So they get the chance to listen. Okay, so what are you doing is you're giving the students to also listen another kind of pronunciation. Okay, so you could listen my pronunciation and then they can listen to uh, um, what's her name again? I forgot her name. Carriel. Okay, so Carriel could be a bot. You can have Carriel telling many stories. Also, in this part of the book, I added a exercise that I created with Tweet. You're also familiar with Tweet. Okay, so we got comprehension questions, vocabulary. Okay, you design what you need. Okay. And also that can be added to the, also I uploaded this to YouTube so the students can find it there too. Okay, so as you can see, the plethora of tools and possibilities are just, mind blowing. So, well, this is the something that you could do. Also, Tiago and Whiskers Learn to Love Nature. This is another story I created. Um, I dedicated this to my grandchildren. So Tiago is my grandson. And Whiskers is my cat. His name is John Smoke, but here he's called Whisker. So students can personalize their stories, and when they design the characters, they can be themselves, for example. Okay, so there are a lot of possibilities. It is just amazing. Okay, let me see. Tweep, I stopped using it because there are better tools nowadays. Okay, counterpart of Tweet. Mm. There are a zillion of tools. Okay, so And again, not everybody has access to all of the tools. So the more you know, the better, because if something doesn't work well in one tool, you just go to the other tool, okay? And that will make it. But right now, most of my things I do with ChatGPT. I am getting the paid version, and so I don't need to go to other tools. I do everything with ChatGPT. But there are better tools like School that Nelly is mentioning there that works really well with kids, So, um, you have a question, Lydia. It says, as for me, it's about materials development, but how does it really help the students to develop their writing skills? What do they really do in a foreign language? Only writing prompts and choosing an image? Is it the AI that develops the story, not the students, right? With AI, you get things started, Lydia. Okay. You are showing them models, you are giving them tools, you are scaffolding. And then, after they have read the story, co-created the story, read the story, work with comprehension exercises. At the end, one of the exercises will be, now is your turn. Write your story. Try to use the vocabulary, the things that you have. Okay. So this is about building together. It's not like, okay, well, you write a story, that's it. No, it's like now they have tools that are available, and you teach them how to use them. You know that they are using AI, you show them how to use AI, but at the end of the day, they can get what they produce. That's what I have done with my students. And what they produce, then I tell them, okay, you did it well. Now let's go to ChatGPT again, and what you wrote, okay, we're going to review. Ask ChatGPT to review it, tell you what are the mistakes, give you examples, and give you a better version. Okay, so it's a complete cycle, right? So things are changing really fast. And you're teaching them how to use the tool for the best advantage. But at the same time, they are learning. They are learning new vocabulary that they wouldn't learn by just following a book, or you designing lessons that adapt to everything that they need. So right now, for example, we just had Halloween, and I gave them a prompt, and they created stories adapted to their cities where they're from. I teach the students online, so, and to their level. Okay, and they created images out of those, and then we discussed about them, and then they told me more about their cities. And but the story was like the beginning, the place where then they will feel comfortable with the new words, and how to explain and talk about what they were saying. So, um, yeah, you can give it a try, but you have to do it that way. Okay, you're going to use this, and you're going to teach them how to, just to give them tools to later on be able to produce something. Most of the time, kids, well, at least here in Argentina, they don't read much. They don't know much about things, and they are learning a lot about how to talk about their own culture. They are learning about to talk about their traditions, and they are discovering the language thanks to AI. And it's a language that is simple for them to understand, so they don't feel so frustrated. And they're becoming like a little bit patient and confident that they want to make it, And all of them, at the end of the day, all of them can participate.